6.2 million years ago, the Earth was not yet the world we know. Forests stretched endlessly across Africa, rivers carved new paths, and strange creatures walked the land. But hidden among the shadows of ancient predators, a new kind of being was rising. Not the strongest, not the fastest, not the fiercest, yet destined to change the fate of the planet forever. This is the story of the birth of the first human hunters. The late Miocene epoch. Africa is a land of contrasts. Vast grasslands are spreading, while dense tropical forests still hold their ground. The climate is shifting, pushing life into new directions. Towering mastodons wander the plains. Packs of saber-toothed cats stalk silently in the tall grass. Herds of antelope-like creatures graze nervously, their survival balanced on speed and vigilance. But hidden among the shadows of ancient predators, a new kind of being was rising. Not the strongest, not the fastest, not the fiercest, yet destined to change the fate of the planet forever. This is the story of the birth of the first human hunters. The late Miocene epoch. Africa is a land of contrasts. Vast grasslands are spreading, while dense tropical forests still hold their ground. The climate is shifting, pushing life into new directions. Towering mastodons wander the plains. Packs of saber-toothed cats stalk silently in the tall grass. Herds of antelope-like creatures graze nervously, their survival balanced on speed and vigilance. But beyond the dramatic clashes of tooth and claw, a new kind of revolution is unfolding. Small primates, upright more often than before, are venturing into the open. They are vulnerable, exposed, but adaptable. For the first time, walking on two legs is becoming more than a survival tactic. It is becoming a way of life. Among these primates lived a species scientists would one day call Sahelanthropus tidensis, one of the earliest known hominins. Its skull, discovered in the deserts of Chad, reveals a creature both primitive and advanced. A heavy brow ridge, a small brain, but crucially, an opening at the base of the skull that suggests upright posture. This was no longer a creature confined to the trees. It was a pioneer of the open land. Others would follow. Auroran tuyanensis in Kenya, Ardipithecus in Ethiopia. Each step was uncertain, fragile, but each carried the seeds of a destiny that no predator, no climate shift could erase. Life for these early hominins was precarious. They were not apex predators. Instead, they were prey. Leopards dragged them into trees. Crocodiles waited in ambush at watering holes. Even large birds of prey circled above, ready to strike the young. To survive, these early humans relied not on strength, but on awareness. They scanned the horizon. They remembered safe paths. They communicated with gestures, sounds, perhaps even the earliest whispers of language. Their greatest weapon was not their body, but their mind. At first, these beings were foragers, searching the land for berries, roots, and insects. They cracked open nuts with stones. They scavenged the leftovers of predators, using sharp rocks to scrape marrow from bones. But necessity bred innovation. Over generations, sharp stones were shaped into tools. Hands evolved not just to climb, but to craft. With tools came opportunity. A carcass abandoned by lions was no longer unreachable. A sharpened stick could defend against smaller predators, and eventually tools became weapons, not just for scavenging, but for hunting. Here, on the ancient plains of Africa, the first spark of human hunters was lit. Yet one creature alone, armed with stone, could not stand against a saber-toothed cat. The secret was cooperation. Bands of early humans gathered together. They shared food. They protected one another. They hunted not as individuals, but as groups. Imagine a small pack of these beings surrounding an antelope. With shouts, stones, and sharpened sticks, they forced it into confusion, exhaustion, and finally into their grasp. This was more than survival. This was strategy. And with strategy came dominance. Millions of years would pass before fire was mastered, but even without it, the trajectory was set. Early humans, though weak in body, had unlocked the one trait that mattered most: adaptability. They would endure droughts, adapt to shifting forests, outlast predators. Their story was not written in claws or fangs, but in intelligence, memory, and imagination. And one day, their descendants would wield fire, paint on cave walls, and carve their mark across the entire earth. Looking back across 6.2 million years, it is easy to see these beings as primitive shadows of ourselves. But without them, there would be no us. Every step they took, every danger they faced, every spark of cooperation and courage, they were writing the opening chapters of humanity's story. They were the first hunters, not because they ruled the land, but because they dared to challenge it. Today, we are their legacy. Every breath we take, every tool we hold, every story we tell echoes from that distant world where fragile beings first stood upright and faced the wild with nothing but stones and courage. 6.2 million years ago, the age of human hunters began, and it has never ended.